She was just slapped with a pretty sharp warning from a judge down in Fulton County, Georgia. And that's when it starts to get interesting. You see, Fani Willis has been prosecuting a whole other case in the background. A whole other case. When I tell you about it, you're going to get exactly why 50 Cent, the rapper, is saying he doesn't think young black men are going to vote for anyone other than Trump because they identify with Trump. We'll get to that. But first of all, let me fill you in on what's going down. So she gets hit with this warning, if you would, from this judge. But what's really wild is what she seems to be engaging in alongside the judge. I mean, this is like shenanigans on steroids, but you know, what do you expect from a lady like this who keeps warning Donald Trump, the train is coming. I'm out to get you. Here she is.
I don't feel like my reputation needs to be reclaimed. Let's say it for the record. I'm not embarrassed by anything I've done. I guess my greatest crime is I had a relationship with a man, but that's not something that I find embarrassing in any way. And I know that I have not done anything that's illegal.
And Omar, as you may remember, the racketeering case was delayed by 2 months following the revelations about her personal life. Her decision-making credibility was also damaged in the eyes of Judge Scott McAfee. But the embattled Fulton County District Attorney said the main case was not delayed because her team never stopped working on it. Let's take a listen.
All while that was going on, we were writing responsive briefs. We were still doing the case in the way that it needed to be done. I don't feel like we've been slowed down at all. I do think that there are efforts to slow down this train, but the train is coming.
Okay. Well, the train's been delayed a few times along the way, and now she's not going to get the case that she wanted. And then on top of it, she's in more trouble. This time because apparently she or one of her members of her team is out leaking. This kind of reminds me of a situation that we had not too long ago. Do you remember when it was leaked, that indictment that was getting handed up from the jury, but the jury hadn't even voted on the thing? And Fani Willis's office or Fani leaked it? I mean, they haven't even made a decision. They didn't even tell the judge what they were thinking. All of a sudden, there was this well-written up indictment that got handed over to the media. I mean, I'm like, come on. So, I don't know about that. I don't know how that sausage gets made, so to speak. Well, here she is saying the train's coming, even though apparently this is a woman who doesn't care about dotting the I's and crossing the T's, or somehow thinks that she hasn't done anything wrong, even though, she had that, shall we say, I'm going to be diplomatic and keep it clean, the little thingy with Nathan Wade, right? Okay, the guy that was working for her, whom she paid more than $600,000 of taxpayer dollars to. She's proud of her life. She hasn't done anything wrong. Heck, the guy's on Good Morning America trying to convince you all that it's as normal as apple pie what went down. I don't think so. I don't think so. Not for the rest of America. All right, sorry, we still have some pride there. So Fani Willis, while warning the train is coming, keeps running into these hurdles. I'm telling you, the left is furious with her. They're like, woohoo, we got Alvin Bragg. Woohoo, we got Letitia James. And then we got stuck with Fani, who can't get it to first base, legally speaking, right? I mean, she was supposed to deliver a courtroom trial on television for that matter. But instead, all she's got is this rapper thing. But the rapper thing is going to be a problem. So back to the judge and why she got the warning. You see, this rapper trial, she's going after somebody named Young Thug, or the Young Slime. I'm not going to bore you with all the crazy terminology. If you're into this music, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So there's this group, this record label called YSL. It's like kind of a big deal rap label. And the guy who runs it is named Young Thug. But apparently that name, his lawyer says, actually represents something else entirely. And let me see if I can get it for you. It's like you have to have a dictionary to decode all of these things. It's actually pretty darn funny. Yeah, everybody's got some little special nickname that sounds like something, but the lawyer wants you to know it's really not that. You're reading too much into it. Anyway, some kind of appreciation for God. Oh, here we go. Young Thug's lawyer says that it means, Thug stands for truly humbled under God. That's what Thug means. Now, his lawyer is a guy named Brian Steele. Now, Brian Steele is like, oh, you're trying to go after my client on racketeering charges, right? Sounds familiar. That's like Fani's favorite go-to. RICO charges. Young Thug and 28 others, all indicted back in 2022 in this sweeping racketeering case for alleged crimes connected to a street gang that they were saying that he ran. So this RICO stuff is like one of her go-to moves. Now, I'm not really into rap or the rap community or anything, like, so I'm not going to pass judgment on that, but I am looking at the legal process here because this Brian Steele, the lawyer, is saying, hang on. It turns out that Fani went and had some private meeting with the judge and one of the witnesses, a witness named Lil Woody, real name Kenneth Copeland. So, and Kenneth's attorney. So they all apparently had some meeting with the judge, and the guy, Brian Steele, the other lawyer's going, wait a second, you can't have a meeting and not tell me about it at all. And so normally you would think that the judge would say, yeah, that makes sense. But no, instead, he turns around and says, who leaked this thing? Fani? Who leaked it? Who on your team leaked it? I mean, clearly she doesn't run a very tight shop because that place is leaking like a sieve. They leaked the indictment and they're out secretly recording each other. Remember when it was alleged that Nathan Wade, the boyfriend, was spending money sort of recklessly and somebody came to Fani and told her about it and recorded the whole thing, and then that woman got fired, right? Like the place is leaking. And so this little meeting that they had behind closed doors that they weren't supposed to have got leaked to the other side. And the other side is like, whoa. And so now Brian Steele, who interestingly is being represented by Ashley Merchant. Remember her? Ashley Merchant, the woman who exposed Fani in the very beginning because she found out about the divorce and the ex-wife saying, wait a second, they were going on cruises, they were taking dinners, and she was like, you can't be bringing this case forward because this woman's not legit. In other words, she doesn't even deserve the position as DA in light of everything that's happened. Well, boy, it's actually a thorn in Fani's side. I know it's complicated, but hear me out. So Brian Steele gets reprimanded from the judge, arrested by the judge. Like he's in big trouble now. Like, they're ready to take him in. And he had a few things to say. Let's listen.
Mr. Williams does not wish to go forward without me being here. You are removing me against his will, my will. You've taken away his right to counsel. And you're conducting material parts of this trial without me present, and I can't learn about it by watching online. So for that reason, additionally, I asked for a mistrial. And I assume you denied, but I'd like you to deny our motions for mistrial. You denied the other people.
I denied your motion, but I'll certainly take that under advisement, sir.
So he's like, well, what are you guys doing? You're taking away my client, the rapper guy. You're taking away his right to get a fair trial. You're taking away his representation, all because you and Fani decided to have some closed door conference that she managed to leak. And instead of saying, gee, it's not right that you had this thing, the lawyer's all flipping out saying, hey, Fani, why'd you give us up? Woohoo! Welcome to Fulton County, Georgia, ladies and gentlemen. You wonder why 50 Cent, the rapper, when he went to Capitol Hill the other day and was asked, why do you think so many young black men are identifying with Donald Trump? He explained it, and it goes right back to what we're watching here in Fulton County in real time. Let's go to Capitol Hill, 50 Cent.
Heading into another election, so have you made a decision about who you're going to support?
I'm not sure how to answer that question, to be honest with you.
Have you made a decision?
I haven't.
What do you see as the significance of African American men in this election for both of you?
I see them identifying with Trump.
Why do you say that?
Because they got RICO charges.
Okay. What Steele is alleging here is a pretty big deal. So on behalf of his client, Young Thug, Grammy-winning rapper, who's in this trial right now, and, front and center, with Fani Willis going after him, Steele is saying, This is bad. You can't have a private meeting. He's accusing the prosecutors of witness tampering and noting that none of the defense lawyers in the case were made aware of any of this. And instead of like the judge saying, oh gosh, we screwed up, he turns it on its heels and says, now you're in trouble. Now you're in trouble. And so the whole community of lawyers now, led by Ashley Merchant down there in Fulton County, again, the lady who exposed who Fani was, they went down to the courthouse to rally around Steele. You had dozens of criminal defense attorneys arriving there on Monday afternoon, showing their support for Ashley Merchant and Brian Steele, trying to defend him against this Judge Glanville and the allegations that are coming out. Well, there's no allegations. I mean, for goodness sakes. I mean, why is Glanville like mad? Because the guy's like, what are you guys doing? And Glanville's mad at everyone, but it gives you some special insight, ladies and gentlemen, into just what is going on there behind the scenes. And it's troubling. It's super troubling because it feels very corrupt. I mean, this is the woman who got out there, remember, did the rounds on the media saying, oh, you know, I would never do what other DAs do. I would never spend taxpayer dollars taking my dates out to dinner. I would never be, you know, fishing from the company pond, so to speak. And yet that's exactly what she did. So there's something going on. A few things going on.